Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse Frugally. Today I'm in my first tissue paper challenge ever. We were challenged to send to another crafter some tissue paper in fall and or Christmas designs. We could send other things as well. And I will link in the description box the playlist so you can see what each of the creators received and what they created out of those items. I received my package from Karen at the Loft Home Decor, who is also hosting this, as well as Lisa from Lovin's the Life. Now I got this beautiful sunflower, this pumpkin, and these check tissue papers, as well as this sheet of buffalo check scrapbook paper, some beautiful black and white different tissue papers, the words from the metal words from the dollar store that you can add to signs and other things, and a couple of these calendars. One I had seen, but this one I had not seen before. So this is great. I am looking forward to using these. Thank you so much to Karen, and I am excited to get started. I also have a little bonus at the end for a special tissue paper that she sent to me that I'll explain in a bit. Now, the first thing that I'm doing is just putting a fairly thick coating of Mod Podge onto the back of a Dollar Tree sign. This Dollar Tree sign stuff is kind of like an MDF chipboard stuff, and so I like to use quite a bit of the Mod Podge to make that sort of suck right in. And then I am coating over the top of it with another coat of Mod Podge, cutting off the excess and then letting that dry. Once that's dry, then I am going to sand away the excess. Now, I have this beautiful wallpaper that I got for free on a little website near me where neighbors and friends post things that they have excess of or want to be rid of, and you can share things or just go and pick them up from the person if it's a first come first serve kind of a thing. And so I had picked this up for a different project, and I had a roll and a half, 2 rolls left over, and I love this soft raised pattern of it. But for this particular project, I did want to darken that a little, so I took some watered down antiquing wax and just dry brushed over that so that the design would pop off of that. Took my sanding block and sanded the excess tissue paper from that sign, and now I am just using a piece of brown cardstock and cutting a stem. Now this chipboard is very obviously chipboard around the outside edges, so I decided to take that same watered down antiquing wax and just go around all 4 sides to darken that up. I did remove the twine sign hanger that came with this, and now I am just gluing on this pumpkin to the sign. The 2 pieces I cut using a wooden pumpkin that I had, and then had to cut it down a little bit. That one was too big, and then I'm just putting a 3rd piece in the center to just give this the look of a pumpkin and sliding that stem underneath, and then I added that hanger back to it. And then to embellish this, I have this wonderful spool of different kinds of trim that I got, I believe, at either TJ Maxx or the Home Goods store several years ago at Christmas time. And I am just picking the one that I like and just using that to go ahead and trim out all 4 sides of this sign, cleaning up the edges and giving it a little bit more texture. And now I am using some of that white wallpaper to make a hang tag, and I just cut it, put a 1-hole punch there, and then I'm using that antiquing wax to go ahead and darken up the outside edges of that tag. And then I'm just taking some twine and ribbon that I have hanging around to make a little bow, and then I have this adorable little metal pumpkin that I got on something. a year or two ago, and it came, I forget what it was, but it came with a number of these, and I didn't like whatever the item was, but I did like these, so I have been using these here and there when I make a different project. And you can see it right there on that little orange pumpkin made out of a jar. I have one, and then I also have one on this pumpkin. And then I decided to go back and add that metal harvest word to this sign since it had a little bit of empty space, and she was so kind to send me them. I thought I'd pop one in here. Now, for the second item, I have this gorgeous little basket, and I love this sunflower tissue paper. I decided not to decoupage everything today, so I wanted to just tuck that into the basket and let it hang over. And I have this beautiful asparagus fern that I believe I got at Hobby Lobby, and then I am just stuffing some of that in there. Since I had the brown stock paper out for the pumpkin stem on the other item, I decided to go ahead and make a hang tag out of just one simple sunflower on top of this. I just fussy cut around that and then decoupaged it on to the brown stock, and I just went ahead and added that to the side of the basket with some yellow ribbon and kept this very, very simple. I think that it came out really sweet. I have almost nothing in my home in yellow, but I did think that it looked really cute with this sign I made last year from the IOD sunflower transfers. Now, the third item that I am doing, I love this buffalo check scrapbook paper, and I have this older Martha Stewart Christmas recipe book or something that I had gotten probably at my dump on the good table. And I obviously am not going to ruin the book itself. I am going to just cover the top of it, and it can still be used if somebody wanted to use it. But I love this. It already had a beautiful burgundy colored binding on it, so I thought that that went really well. And so I just Mod Podged down this buffalo check paper and then went around the edges with the little sandpaper and just took off the excess, and then cleaned that up with a little bit of antiquing wax. And then once I had that finished, then I went into the different sheets of tissue paper that I was sent, and I wanted to do something in the black and white, so I tried a couple of them, and I really decided that I liked this one best. So using just a wet paintbrush, I went around and tore the edges, and then once I got the size and shape that I wanted, just decoupaged that down right on top of that. Without even waiting for the top coat of Mod Podge to be dry, I tore another sheet out of my own stash, and because I absolutely love this music tissue paper that I got a couple years ago, and I wanted to add a piece to the very top of that. And then once I had all of that completely on there, I just covered the whole thing and then just sort of went around the edges and cleaned up the edges a little bit so that I'd be able to see both of the pieces of tissue paper. And then once this is completely dry, I had sent one of the ladies some of this that I purchased on Amazon, and it said tissue paper. Unfortunately, it was more of a shiny, not tissue paper, so sorry about that. Hopefully they are able to use it. It worked okay. It just took a little extra, but I liked the color tone with this item, so I decided to go ahead and just give that a good amount of Mod Podge over the top. And then I had this really adorable little camper being pulled by a truck from a card, a Christmas card, I believe, that I had taken off, and added that to the bottom. I had a peace ornament from the dollar store, and that had the check on it as well, and I thought that looked adorable in the corner, so I added that. It already had a messy bow on it, and I think that that came out adorable, but you will have to let me know what you think of these 3 items. And that takes me on to my bonus. Now, when Karen sent me this pack, she told me that the tissue paper that I'm using for this product was what started this whole challenge in the first place. So I have this little sign that is a little primitive country, a little worse for wear. It's kind of outdated and a little faded. I got it on the good table at my dump, so I decided to disassemble that and just paint the frame with 2 coats of white chalk paint. And then once that is completely dry, I am using the cardboard, and I added some cardstock to that, and I am going to decoupage a piece of this beautiful green and white tissue paper to this, to pay homage to this tissue paper. And I know it is very botanical and almost spring or summer-like, but I thought that actually I would be able to make it Christmas-like as well. I think it's pretty versatile. Let that dry, sanded that excess off as I did with the others. And then I took the calendar that Karen had sent me, and you know how on the back of the calendar they have the 12 months in a very small section there. I decided just to use one, the December one, and to cut that out and to add that onto the middle of the frame, and then put back the glass and the frame on that, and then to go ahead and embellish that. I took some of the white chalk paint and I just kind of lightly brushed some snow onto a couple of Christmas picks that I had in my stash. And then I did decide to go ahead and take some of these green ink. My girlfriend Nancy had found probably 48 pack of little inks at a yard sale that she got for me, and they have all different colors, and so I decided to use just a little bit of green ink to distress the edges on that, and then to go ahead and glue on top those Christmas picks and a couple of pine cones and dress that up just a little bit to make that look more Christmassy. And here it is. I am so grateful for these ladies letting me to take part in this challenge. I hope that you will make sure that you check out their playlists and enjoy. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.